up. So with that being said, I mean, I look around here and I'm thinking, who else can we thank? I wish that I could run around and thank every one of you and shake every one of your hand. But you know what? There's a guy here that has a few people to thank. You may not know him very well. You might recognize him. So close your eyes. But he's going to come up now, and I'll give you a clue. It kind of ends in junior.
Oh, okay, good moment. Who do we thank first? Honestly, this was coming. Brian and I talked about this, and a small crowd this year. Last year we had a little bigger crowd, but that's okay. The weather kept everyone away from the whack, and I don't blame you. I was walking in sandal this morning. Never done that since I've been here 20 some odd years. But I think, as from a player's perspective, there's one gentleman here who does not play with us. I don't know if he plays handball. Rumor is he does. But Fred Banfield continues to raise the level of handball. It's unbelievable what you're doing. And you sit there quietly. Most people don't know who you are. And you are like this Jedi Zen master who's just doing these things. And we're seeing Paul Brady showed up here. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, and Dave, you know what? I'm gonna teeter off on Dave in a second, but Fred, thank you. I'm standing up. I think all the players should stand up for you, sir. What you're doing is impeccable. It's unbelievable. Thank you. And I say this because I played on the Gatorade Pro Tour. I met Bill Smithberg a couple of times, and I never saw him at events. And what you're doing, you're showing up, and you're not only you're showing up, but you're bucking up. You're doing it. Thank you. While I'm on this subject of Fred Banfield and the Tucson group, there's another guy here who is, and I room with him at all events, and what I'm seeing him doing is it's unbelievable, actually. From 6 a.m., actually maybe even earlier, 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., and then I try to rile him up for dinner, and he says, Nadi, I'm not going anywhere. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk. And he doesn't want to talk. It's the best time to be around Dave Vincent. He doesn't want to talk. But what he is doing for handball, and again for the pro players, I would stand up for him too, because I always stand up. I give him a big hug, I give him a kiss. His wife is now recording pictures of us kissing. But what he is doing for us at these events, no one's ever done it. No one has ever done it. Thank you very much. I think I'm good.
Well, thank you, Nadi. You know what we're going to do? We're going to make this real simple. We're going to hand over the microphone to Dave, because evidently he's never at a loss for words, but he certainly deserves all the accolades in the world. You know, I've had so many discussions with Dave about how to bring this event to Seattle, okay? How tough things are. You know, there's so much stuff that happens behind the scenes that, I mean, really, you know, when you really look in your heart and you ask, you know, not what handball can do for you, but what you can do for handball, and how, you never know. Who's the next Paul Brady? Who is he? You don't know, but you won't know unless you put the ball in the kid's hand. And if you're 80 years old, you know what? Do a nice serve and do it on the offhand. Guess what? You're going to teach somebody a lesson. I was on the opposite end of that. If you're 8 years old, grab your buddy and ask your mom or dad, take me to a couple of plays handball. Spread the sport, spread the love, because this is not just a game about a ball. It's passionate, it's loving, and the camaraderie. And before I hand the microphone to Dave, I'd like that we all, in our heart, thank all of those people that embraced us, all those memories that we carry, all the love, all that handball's given us, and then ask what we can give back. I wanted the moment of silence.
Thank you, Brian. I want to thank Al Vinson for being here. Hands together. You just share the name that sounds the same in most people think that you and I are the same person. This is the first time that we've ever been seen in the same room at the same time. I want to thank Naughty, too, for standing up and representing the pro players. Naughty, thanks. I like your hat, too. Did you forget your saxophone back at the hotel room? Or? We're going to have a press conference here with the pro players. We're going to look back over to this table right now with John Bike and Andy Shad. They were in the finals of the senior championships as we stream live right now at racefor8.com. It was Andy Shad putting up a fight against John Bike. John fought back, but eventually lost 25-20. And both of those players are here on our table. If you have any questions you'd like to ask them, we'll certainly give you that microphone so you have a chance to ask the questions. Let's go first to John, who is the overall senior champion for the year. We don't have a cup for the overall senior champion, but John, I know, very frustrating.
Disappointed.
You won the most points. You lost the tournament. What was your experience like throughout the season, and also here to wrap up this Players' Championship? John.
Well, I've said this before. I really thought I was past the time, and they inducted me in that Hall of Fame thing for the old guys, and I really thought I was done being watched to play. And I guess I appreciate you bringing me back in. I mean, it's been a lot of fun. I'm not quite bringing the same game, but I'm enjoying myself.
There were a lot of rumors that sponsors were going to potentially get involved with the senior tour. Sponsors like Viagra, Cialis. People joked about that a little bit, but really, how bad has the tour been on your body when it comes down? I mean, has it been? Excuse the Viagra jokes there, but when you get back to home, are the one-game matches to 25 the grueling rounds? Are you able to walk 2 or 3 days later?
Yeah, the 25 changes everything. I think I agree with Dave Fink that some of the most entertaining matches this week were 25-point matches, and the answer to that is yes. I feel better after a 25-point tournament than I do after the traditional ones.
Andy, this is sort of a comeback year for you. The last couple years, you've won some national championships in doubles in the 40s, and now you're on the tour here. What are your thoughts about how this concluded in this Race for 8 season and your comeback to professional handball?
Well, it's a great opportunity to be able to play. When you're in the military and you're out for several years, every time that you're able to step on the court is a blessing. And so to have just been able to play in tournaments again this year was good, and then certainly to play pretty much my handball hero, John Bike, today was incredible for me. So John has John and I, back in the 90s when I lived in Tucson, John used to, I think I told Tracy Davis, he used to beat me like a tom-tom drum. And he used to spot me 10 points every time we played. And I don't think, in fact, I'm sure I've never beat John before, so this is quite a fluke. I doubt if it'll happen again. But it's great to be back playing, and to be playing on the senior tours is really a blessing.
We've seen you at a couple pro stops, and there was one instance that you brought your daughter along. This time you're bringing your wife here. John always travels with family. Does that seem like, as you get older, they're going to be part of your experience, your touring experience, the family, both of you? John?
Yeah, absolutely. And then the one, he also brought his father to one. So yeah, Andy, who's next? Your dog? Or?
Yeah, touche. No, it's. I think as you get older, you appreciate your family, and I've got 3 lovely daughters, and I like to have them with me when I play, and my lovely wife as well. So it makes it more worthwhile.
Everybody, put your hands together for our 2 senior finalists. The winner, Andy Shad, wins the trophy for the seniors. John Bike takes 2nd place. Guys, thanks for playing in this tournament. Thank you for stopping by and sharing a few words with us as well. We are going to have up next on the table Andrew Nett and Emmett Pichot. Now, if you're a fan of these if you're a fan of these players, which we know you are, and you want to ask a question, please raise your hand and I'll give you the microphone.
This is getting good.
Andy, in this event, what place did you get? 5th?
You need to tell me, Anthony.
Oh, it was fifth.
Good job.
And you played Emmett Pashot there for fifth place, and you defeated Emmett. You guys have gone back and forth now, and I would say it's the start of a rivalry. Do you also believe that this is a rivalry between the two of you on the court?
Well, I have a lot of fun playing Emmett. I feel like we're really even, and the matches are really close and fun. You probably would say a lot of the shots I hit are lucky, but I think I just feel like we're really even, and I had a lot of fun playing today. You know, and it's kind of one of those matches that while it was going on, I'm like, wow, this is a fun match. I didn't really care if I won or lost.
And why didn't you lose?
Luckily, it came out the way I would have liked. So.
Throughout the race season, you haven't always felt that the playoffs were the funnest experience.
He did beat me like 25-2 one of those games.
I remember that.
But you certainly did put an effort forward today. What is your experience, your road to Seattle? What has it been like for you as you get here and play for fifth place and then have it capped off with this amazing tournament here?
I think just having a year under my belt helped out a lot. Like last year, like we said, I don't think I won a playoff match after the drop down. It was kind of hard to adjust. And it was one of those things, once you lose, I kind of was just like, okay, I'm done. I don't really care anymore. But I learned from that first year that those playoff matches really make a difference. So I came back and was ready to play and focus this year for the playoff matches most of the time. But I just really appreciate having the opportunity to be able to travel and see the country and play handball against the best players in the country.
Emmett, you're one of those best players in the country, a fan favorite. The crowd here who is clamoring to get some of your words out. You are coming back from an injury we've been talking about for maybe too many years now, but are you feeling 100% yet with that shoulder?
No, about 90%. It's getting up there. I mean, at the beginning of the season, it was probably about 65, even though I thought it was about 90. So it's been gradually getting better and better. It's been lasting longer and longer, and it's wonderful, actually.
Your road to Seattle, are you thankful for some of the sponsors and those that have helped you get here? And I know you have a work ethic on the court, but who's helped you come out to this tournament and brought Emmett Pashot out here besides just yourself and your own determination?
Well, my parents, first and foremost. They've always been supportive. And also my training partner, Gary Machard, has helped quite a bit with serving instructions, which I've started to take up, and starting to serve better and better, but I still have a lot of work to do.
One last thing with you there is you have a record out, a brand new record. You're also an artist. I think most of us all know that you are a singer-songwriter. You have an album. Do you want to promote that by any chance?
Yeah. So I have 3 CDs available on iTunes, and everyone here should buy them.
That was pretty simple. Andy, what's next? You're going to go play at the Nationals. Will you be trying to defend your national doubles title with Luis Moreno?
I think me and Luis are going to play in Canada, try to win that. We haven't done that one yet, so that's the next one on our list.
And then the next one after that, which is the Four-Wall Nationals.
We'll see what happens after.
Okay. You've pretty much won every title, so you're going to go after that one. I want to thank both of you guys for your amazing season. Thanks for coming out to this last championship. Anybody else have any questions? What was that? Nope? Okay.
Thank you, Fred and Dave and all the people from Seattle for having us out here. Really appreciate it.
Same.
Hands together for Andy Nett, number 5 in this tournament, and Emmett Pashot, who took 6th. Thank you guys for coming up to this press conference. Up next, it is Luis Moreno. Excuse me, let's do Dave Fink and Sean Lenning. That's 7th and 8th place. We'll have just a couple brief words with both of these players before we go to the third and then our finalists. At any time, if you have any questions you'd like to ask these players, please just raise your hand.
Thank you.
Dave won 7th. Sean Lenning took 8th. Sean Lenning up here on the podium. Sean, can you talk a little bit about that shoulder injury of yours that has been reoccurring, goes away, in between matches, comes back again? What's going on with it? Is it something that you can have surgery on?
No, it shouldn't be an issue. I just haven't been on my exercises like I should be, so I'll get it straightened out.
You are one of the greatest outdoor 3-wall players of all time. Will you be tackling Toledo this year with that shoulder. And
Yeah, I'm gonna get it better. Yeah. I've just been lazy on it, so.
Dave, I heard multiple times that you were going to retire from the sport of handball. We've all had our fingers crossed. But can you please tell me that this time is real, that you will not be playing handball again?
Well, unfortunately for all of you, Sean let me win today, so it might keep me around for another season. I was definitely ready to throw all my gloves in the garbage today, but I'd like to make a correction. You said I won 7th. I don't know if you can say you won anything when you went 0-3. So I think maybe after a 4 or 5 month break, you might see me again at Plummer.
Okay. Want to thank both of you guys for obviously playing in the handball tournament here. Dave, do you have any words to the sponsors and those that put together the tournament at the Washington Athletic Club, and your thoughts on how they strung everything together here?
First of all, I want to thank Brian Henson, who spoke earlier. Brian's an incredible host and tournament director, and he's helped all the players, and he's helped me personally this week with some injuries that I've had, and he just makes this experience so much fun. As far as this venue, to me, this is probably the best place that we'll ever play. I mean, this is the best show court, most exciting, the best, bounce, and I really look forward to coming here every year. I've been fortunate to have started playing here in 2008, and I hope I can come back every year. And I want to thank all the WAC members, Darren Barr, and everyone who made this event possible for us to be here, and of course, Mr. Banfield, who, has given us all the opportunity to travel from city to city and put on a great show and really be able to do what we love to do. So thank you to everyone, and we hope to come back here next year and for many years to come.
Yeah, hands together. Sean, anything you'd like to say about the club here in general? I know that you've worked out here. This is somewhat a home club, and some of your home fans are here. I mean, you're certainly from the area.
Yeah, it's nice. Just going down the street to play a tournament. It's convenient, and everybody here is real nice, and Dave said it well.
What do we have to look forward to in 2013-14 season for Sean Lenning? Are you going to make a bold statement right now?
No. I'm gonna, I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't predict myself. We'll see.
Hands together for 7th and 8th place, Sean Lenning and David Fink. Matt McLaughlin's going to get up to the podium right now with Nadia Alvarado. We'll make this really brief. I don't see Luis Moreno here, so McLaughlin's filling in for Moreno. Now, I know, Nadia, you already had a brief time on the microphone, but once again, just to wrap up your experience here in Seattle and your season, if you could.
Oh, this has been a weird season. I've bounced from pro level to senior level and back to pro level. But we're fortunate, and that's the bottom line. We can say thank you to Fred, but it's never enough. What he's done and the opportunity he's given us, and Dave Fink talked about it a little bit. This is, look where we're at. We're here playing handball, the WAC. You've got people from all over the United States that have visited in Montana, Anchorage. They're here, they're in full force, and they, what can I say? This is impressive.
Matt, this very well could be your first non-banking press conference that you've been to. I'm sure you've been through a few open mics at a bank convention somewhere in Lenexa, Kansas. But what are your thoughts about how this tournament has wrapped up and how the season has been with the Race for 8 Senior Tour?
I was sitting around minding my own business, doing nothing in December, and I got an email from Dave Vincent saying, I hope you can make it to Houston. And so what are you talking about? He said, we're starting a senior tour. And, I thought he was, BSing me. So I'm like, who wants to watch old guys play? But I looked up, and sure enough, they had a tournament down there. And then I noticed the next one was in Denver, and I never travel for tournaments. I'm a local player. The only nationals I've been to is 6 hours away from my hometown. But thanks to the WPH, I decided to get out and play again. I mean, there's a good chance I'd probably already be on a break for summer by now. And if it wasn't for the WPH, I wouldn't be playing. And I think that's the foundation for the future growth of the game, because what they're doing for the game is just over and above any expectations. And everybody here obviously feels the same as I do. It's very gratifying to be here.
Thank you, Matt. Matt faced Nadi Alvarado in Denver, Colorado in the finals of the seniors, and Matt took third place here, defeating Dan Armijo. Matt McLaughlin and Nadi Alvarado, thank you very much for coming up to the grandstand here, guys, and for attending this tournament. Paul Brady and Charlie Shanks, our two finalists. One of those players won the outright tournament that we had here, the Race for 8 stop number 7 in Seattle. The other one is our new players champion. That's where we have 6 stops where the players can accrue points. And the player with the most points, the top 8 players were invited here, and at the end of the season, whoever had the most points is crowned the players champion. Well, this year, even though Charlie Shanks lost in this final, he is now awarded the players championship. And with that, you get the trophy that is to your left. That is now...
I got to keep it.
No, it is.
Did he get one of these? No?
I got this one.
No. That's the senior one, isn't it?
Yes.
So Paul's is on the right and Charlie's is on the left. Okay, whatever. Anyway, Charlie, you believe it or not, Charlie, you are the players champion. You won the total race points that gives you the championship throughout the year. Now, last year when Luis Moreno won, we gave him a trophy and we gave him a presentation down in Tucson, Arizona. The local media came out, and it was a really an amazing presentation down there with a yellow jersey inside of a trophy. Well, we're not going to do that with you. So, no, I'm just joking. No, our presentation is here in front of those that watched you play and your future wife, Mary, who's in the back row here. So, Charlie, thank you for really dedicating yourself. You're one of the players that we saw throughout the full season really, truly try every single point. And that's the one thing that we really enjoy from our perspective as organizers, watching the players give 100%. The Emmett Pachotes, the Dave Finks, the Nadi Alvarados, those that play every single point as hard as they can. You might have been down 0-7. You didn't give up. You played through. Because of that dedication and what you do off the court, you are our players champion, and we appreciate you, Charlie Shanks.
Was there a question there?
No question.
No?
No, I was thinking while everyone was clapping, what the hell am I going to say now? You had to go up against Paul, and you've played him before. And I know that you wanted that win today, but you didn't get it. But throughout the season, you did dedicate yourself and you did work hard. What were your thoughts about going up against Paul and what you were trying to accomplish here in Seattle?
I think for me, just coming here, I just wanted to get to the final. That was the main thing. Last year was very inconsistent. I lost in I lost in 3 or 4 first rounds, and so I just wanted this year. I wanted to be more consistent and be playing well at every step and do well, and I managed to do that in all the stops, making semi-finals or better generally. So coming up against Paul today, it was just let's get to the final, and then when I got to the final, I didn't really have anything left in the tank to try. Tried everything to recover, but I just didn't have anything left to give. Running in the booms, and just busted my gut and try to see if there's a window of opportunity there that might open up. But Paul's, you can see just his physique. He's a full-time athlete. He's training hard. He has he's all the years experience, all the years experience in the gym, all the years experience in the courts, competitions, and it stands to him.
Paul certainly is a specimen, Paul. I mean, people are talking about you and your physique. You come in here looking really strong. For a guy that really didn't play much handball for the last 3 weeks leading up to this, you look pretty sharp. Now, there might have been an injury there late in that second game with your hamstring. Is that going to affect what your ultimate goal is, and that is to win that 8th national championship in Iowa.
Not not really. I should be fine. You know, it's like Charlie. I was running on empty there near the end. Like it was just kind of, you know, it was a big ask to try and play, you know, 4 games in 28 hours, you know, against the best in the world. So normally we have a day to recover, and we didn't have a day here, so we were straight into it. So like that, you know, it's hard to judge how you know you are playing, because you know in the nationals you're going to have that day to kind of recover. But I just came here to relax and enjoy it, and it kind of stuck to me. And while I haven't played much in the last 3 weeks, I've done a lot in the 16 weeks before that, 15 weeks, you know. So the rest did me the world of good, you know. And so and thankfully I got through it.
So you wanted to come here and just somewhat relax, have a fun tournament, and you had to play 4 matches in 20 hours. That's not something that is normal. And they were the 4 best players that you could possibly play. I mean, aside of Robbie McCarthy not being here, you really had the 4 toughest players that you could possibly even play, and you had to do that in 20 hours. I mean, is that what you expected when you came here?
No, not really. I didn't think it'd be that hard. I only seen the draw there a few days ago, so I didn't. You know, initially it was just 1 game to 25, and I thought, you know, it should be all right. And then the 2 games to 15.
It's getting worse.
A little more difficult, and then when I seen the draw, it kept getting worse. But like I say, I wasn't so concerned about the results here. I was just I just wanted to come and get the games. You know, we played our All-Ireland championships. I played the final on St. Patrick's Day, so it was a big layoff between then and the nationals. So I kind of needed a tournament. So I'd say a lot of lads aren't too worried about the results this weekend. It was kind of just getting the games, and you know, this weekend is worth 100 training sessions. You know, so it counts for nothing now. Come the nationals, I just have to scratch this and focus on that. And I think all the other players will be doing the same, obviously.
Charlie, what's next for you?
The nationals.
Okay, you take this like the sort of same mentality that Paul has, where this is sort of a really good training ground for maybe getting a couple workouts a day and playing some of the guys that you might be playing leading up to the finals?
No, well, it's tough, you know. I'm kind of working during the week, so I kind of knock off Wednesday evening and then jump on a flight Thursday morning and come here and get stuck straight in, you know, Thursday mornings or Friday mornings start playing. Whereas the nationals, you know, I kind of get the weekend off and have a few days to prepare, and it kind of stands to me a bit better at those events that kind of do well. So that's, you know, I'm looking forward to the nationals next. You know, it gives me just the way it starts on a Tuesday, gives me a few extra days off work and, you know, get focused and get ready to go, like, you know. So yeah, so that's what's next for me, the nationals.
You have a marriage coming up. Your lovely wife-to-be is deep in the back, trying to hide from the camera.
Corner, yeah.
Yeah,
The
she's
white
trying to hide.
trousers. Everybody turn around and look.
There she is. Yeah, hands together for Mary Tallett. She's already read. And now she's just read Charlie, when is the wedding date? And Dave Fink said he was invited, but I wasn't, which is frustrating.
That's horrible, David, isn't it?
It's true, though.
Yeah, the big day is August 22nd.
And that's going to be in
this
Belfast?
Year, yeah, it's going to be up in North Antrim, just north of Belfast, very top of Ireland, very top. So yeah, big day coming up, and could be the end of the handball days. You know, this could be the last you see of me.
We might need to put Mary.
Once I get you'll have to, whenever you send those invites to me, my email address, you'll just have to send them to Mary and CC me. As you can see, she's wearing the trousers.
That's true. Anybody here in the stands or in the seats want to have a few words here with the players? Let's go to Al Vinson. Al?
You guys played very hard and a great match. And I noticed that you neither one wear headbands. Do you ever wear them?
I don't sweat that much. I don't need them.
Well, then why were you drying the floor all the time?
It's his sweat.
I don't like to wear a headband because I like to sweat on the spot where my opponent's going to serve from, just to distract them. I like doing that against Natty because that really annoys him. If he's still here.
Just look for the hat. Any other questions from the stands? I think you talk loud enough. You don't need a microphone. That was just Brian thinking, and we all heard it.
I gave it some time for somebody else. Hey guys, with all the love in the world, I would really like to hear your experience and how you got introduced to the game and how much you appreciate that person and how you would like to see this game evolve and spread and share the sport that's given you so much and that you clearly love and you're clearly have excelled at.
I'll let Charlie take that one.
I think there was 3 questions there. There was
6. I'll take the fifth. I'll take the fifth one.
So the first one, yeah, my father introduced me to the game. Just where I'm from, like the town I'm from, had a great tradition of handball in the town. It was the first in the 60s. They built 3 handball courts, 3 outdoor courts, 3 big alleys, as we call them back in Ireland, the 30 by 60s. You guys know them as. So there's 3 courts there in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then eventually built a smaller international court in the 90s, and then that's when my father started a coaching program, which involved me and my brother just spending hours in the court, beating each other up, and then playing a bit of handball as well. So, it wasn't, we didn't do replays, we kind of just boxed and see who won. Whoever won the boxing match got the point. But,
how would you like the game to evolve?
Yeah, that's how I would like the game to evolve, yeah. So it could be into a boxing game. I think I could take you, Paul. So how would you like the game to evolve? I think at grassroots level, it has to begin at grassroots level. It has to, everybody has to, maybe, there's a great program going back in Ireland at the minute where there's one wall introduced to the schools, and particularly in the province I'm from, they have a schools competition, maybe about 20 schools competing in one wall, and I think that's where we want to get into. You want to get into schools, introduce kids to it, and once you introduce them at an early age, then they're going to stick with it. If they like it, they're going to stick with it, and they're going to be aware of it. And if the fan base is there at grassroots level, then it's going to make it prime time.
Hands together for Charlie Shanks, currently ranked number 1 in the WPH rankings, and he still holds that ranking. Paul, you are the number 1 player according to the World Championships. You've won 4 of those. I hope that this experience of coming here and having to play all of these matches in the last, 20 hours isn't something that's going to push you away from a potential, few stops next year. We are looking at a sponsor that could come along next year that could make it very nice to have you out on the tour, I guess you can say, but not just you, but having Charlie come back also. Charlie will be living in Ireland. Paul, what would it take for you to get back on the tour again and maybe hit some stops on the race season next season?
Well, it's obviously it's hard to come now. Take a week off work, and obviously financially you have to try and cover your costs. And you're going to bust a gut there at this stage in my career. It's got to be worth my while. It's just I did all that when I was younger, playing for a few thousand against John and Natty. We were very young, and them days I just physically can't do it anymore. It takes so much out of me. So I suppose if there was a little bit more money, that's the honest answer. I think you get a lot more players from Ireland. I think it would also encourage the players here to train even harder, and it will raise the standard. So I suppose it just comes down to that, to be honest. Maybe even less stops and more money for the stops, hopefully to get a big sponsor who you could have one big tournament or something that would attract everything. So to be honest, by the time you take a week off work and pay your training expenses and pay your expenses to come to the tournament, and then when you're at the tournament trying to get massages and eat right and things like that, it just costs a lot of money. So I'm at the age now where I've got to think of other things, and you're trying to sort out mortgages and things like that. It's just I can't do it. So that's the honest answer.
It's an honest answer, and that's why we brought everybody here. We brought the richest people at the Washington Athletic Club. These cups right here are made for dollar bills, so feel free to come in and just drop them in there. This is officially a donor meeting, right, Dave? So we get credit for this back at WPH headquarters? No? Any questions that anybody else has out here that you'd like to ask Paul or Charlie before we send them away? Anybody? Well, we all know. We read the bio on Wikipedia.
Yeah. I suppose I'll address the evolve.
Share your love, brother.
I'll address how I'd like to evolve. I suppose when I look at Ireland, how it's, it has just rapidly increased in popularity, and the coaching that goes in. It does sadden me sometimes when I come here and it's all, kind of older people playing, and there's not very many young people. So I definitely worry about the future of the game here. Even people who don't come to tournaments from Ireland, they just come occasionally, like they always comment about how there's a lot older people. So I was talking to Dave about this the other day, if we could just somehow set a goal that you could get like 16 or 20 kids, American kids at every junior nationals and every national. That should be a goal of, the USHA, I suppose they haven't done anything about it at this point, but maybe the WPH, if they could, surely in all of America there's 16 kids that can come in every age group. So that's how I'd like it to evolve, more so than the media or more so than everything else. If they come to the tournament and see kids playing, and the sport is, it's dying a death in a lot of ways. So until that's addressed, a lot of things are futile, because, the future, there is no future. And in Ireland, it's a perfect example of how there's so much coaching going along, and the standard is so high in the juveniles, and there's so many kids playing. So maybe the one wall, I don't know, there's several different ways, but that certainly has to be a goal of both the WBH and USHA and whoever else, So that's how I'd like to see the game to evolve here, that when I come back, when I'm a Masters player, that I see kids everywhere. And that's the key priority, I think, of the sport here. So.
Yeah. We have one final question here. This is going to get exciting. Just considering the source. Question?
Yes. Charlie and Paul, I want to add a little bit of what Dave mentioned a little earlier as far as the WAC. Honestly, I actually begged John. I'm like, can't you just try to, be in? No, it's not going to happen. Anyhow, your facility, your tournament, it's top notch. You guys do a fabulous job of getting us and everyone around here from all over the world to come to such a great event. And Dave, I'm going to disagree with your thought just for a second. My next approach is, will the two of you be joining us at the Simple Green, October 24th through the 27th, coming up in the fall? We are highly looking forward to seeing you two, and you attract a lot of your Irish livelihood.
I hope to be there anyway, for sure, yeah.
I hope to be there, but I'm kind of on honeymoon the month before, so there might be more of me there.
Loads of beer, loads of beer. Whiskey. Fill 'em with whiskey.
I think there'll be a lot more of me. I might have a gut like John. I have the hairstyle now, so I might have a gut, John. Sorry, John, but...
My point is, it would be a thrill to have you two join us as you did this past fall, and we look forward to having everyone around the world attend our event. And please look into the Simple Green. Thank you, WPH, Fred, with the WAC. Fabulous event. Congratulations, guys.
And that's going to wrap up the press conference, although we have one last thing. We need Emmett. Is he still here? Where's he at? Oh, Emmett. Yeah, I'm sorry. I thought you were here. We need you to come up here really quickly, Emmett, please. You'll see why in a second. There is a team championship that the team is Paul Brady and Emmett Peixoto on the Salt Lake City Aces, and they have won this trophy right here. This is a team trophy. Each of the pro players represent a team throughout the full season, and team points have been accrued, and that number one team trophy goes to Paul Brady and Emmett Pichot. For the Salt Lake City Aces team, this is called the Super Ball Trophy, a term coined by John Bike, who controls the points and the rankings. John, what do you have to say about this team trophy?
Well, I have a lot of control over it, but I can't control when the WAC team comes in 7th and 8th place. There's no way I can get us up there on that stage. 6th and 7th maybe, but all right, better luck next year, guys.
Well, I'm sorry, WAC took last in the team trophy. You are walking out with that. I'm sorry, but WAC.
In your mouth nose.
We are going to wrap up the press conference. Charlie and Paul, thank you for attending and playing in our tournament, and thank you for thanking the sponsors and everything that you've done. Charlie?
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
I heard Paul was a good singer. And if he can, yeah, I've never heard him sing all the time. So if he could finish with this with the
Let's
song,
close
maybe.
it out. Here we go.
There you go, Paul. Give us a song.
When I get enough whiskey, what's it up? The Elephant and Castle or whatever. At about 2 a.m, you'll hear me sing. Not now. I've only one beer.
You can't just hit one note for us? No.
Oh,
Okay.
he's supposed to be a good singer. Come on, Paul. Give us one. Come on.
Buy me a bottle of whiskey there, I'll sing.
Send off the press conference with a nice little song.
He likes Frank Sinatra, so I'm guessing
My
maybe.
way, my way.
Yeah, my way. Go on.
You're messing me.
Go on. Hey, actually, I'm genuinely serious. I heard he was a good singer. Come back, Paul.
Thank you guys for coming out and enjoying this amazing handball tournament at the Washington Athletic Club. Thank you to Brian Hinson, Joel Carlson, Randy Moltak, Al Vinson, and all of the sponsors at the Washington Athletic Club. Thank you for watching as we stream live. The World Players of Handball Players Championship concludes here at race8.com. Have a nice night.